Hey guys, welcome to Homework Help for Year 6, Term 3, Week 1. On page 8, set 4, I'm just going to do the last column here. These are pretty simple, so I'm just going to go through all of these column here, these questions here. First one says m times n divided by n. So this one says simplify each of these algebraic fractions. Simplify, okay, so we can't solve for any of them. We don't know what the letters represent, what numbers, but we can simplify this. So when you have m times n and then divided by n, you can just cancel these out. When you multiply a number by n and then divided by n, it just turns back into the original number. So imagine if you had 2 times 3 and then you divide it by 3. So that just becomes 2 again, isn't it? So these two just cancel out. So that's what's happened here. So the answer is m. So we just have to look at the fraction and see which one we can cancel out. Or you can think of it another way is you can simplify by dividing by a common factor. What's the factors of so m and what's the factors of m and n? Well, you got m and you have n. What's the factors of n? It's just 1 and n. Okay, so they both have a common factor of n, so we can divide it by n. So it'd be like this. You can just divide top by n and divide bottom by n, and you get m over 1, which is just m. Let's look at h. Let's divide the top by what's the common factors between the top term and the bottom term. They both have a factor of f, sorry, and they both have a factor of h. So we can just divide top by f and h and the bottom by f and h, and you get just g over 1, which is just g. Or you can think of it like, I'm just going to cross out the bottom one, cross out the top one, and just be a g there. Okay. Now we can divide the top and bottom by 4 for this one. So you're going to get, what is it, 7k over 1, which is just 7k. Now next one, what can we divide it by? There's only a letter t at the top, there's no letters at the bottom, so just look at the numbers. We can divide the top and bottom by 8. We're simplifying, so this would be t over 8. There's your answer. Next one says simplify each of us following again. So again, we simplify this. Now the top and bottom has, let me see. So let me look at the top term. The top term is 50y and the bottom term is 10y. So 50y, let's look at the factors of 50y. That's 5 times 10 times y. And the bottom one is 10 times y. So that means they both have a common factor of, whoops, let me just change that. They both have a common factor of 10 and y. Which means that I can just divide them both by 10y. And now me, so the top one, 50 divided by 10 is just 5. And y divided by y is gone. And the bottom one is just 1. So that means this is just 5. Or you can think of it like this. You can just say, okay, let's look at the numbers. Okay, this one, we can just cross this one out. This one becomes 1, this becomes 5. Look at the letters, cross out, you get 5 over 1. Same thing. So I'm just trying to show you how this works. But when you know how to do it, it's just really quickly. It's just like, okay, look at this one, question H, cross this out, this will be a 1, cross this out, be an 8. Q crosses out, so it becomes 8p, done. Okay. Question 3L. So I'm just gonna cross out look at the numbers, look at the numbers there. I'm going to cross out the 8, there'll be a 1, cross out the 56, there'll be a 7. We're dividing both terms by, both numbers by 8. And let's look at the letters now. So the letters, I'm going to use blue. This will cross out the U's, cross out the W's, And the answer is just 7v. That's all we have left. 7 and a v left. The bottom is just a 1. This is 7v. Same thing. Alright, question 4. Simplify each of these divisions. So question 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, they're all the same thing. They're all dividing. So let's look at question 4. I'll show you this one. So this one, for example, is the same, is a division, right? This is basically 36abc divided by 9ab. So this is written like this, but we can also put it into a fraction. We can say that's the same as 5x divided by 5. And again, I'm just going to cross out the 5, divide top and bottom by 5, you're going to get x. Okay. So now they just written it differently, but it's the same. It's pretty much the same question. So I'm going to put this into a fraction. This will be gh over g. Cross out the g's, and you just get a h. Question h. This will be 48 t divided by 12. Let's look at the 12. We can divide top and bottom by 12. This will be 1. This will be 4. So the answer is 4t. Question, now this one says, question 5, simplify. Okay, so again, now you have this q squared. So what's happening here is you have 10 times q, because q squared, this is q squared. Okay, q squared just means q times q. So 10 times, I just broke it up into its pieces, and now we divide it by q. So all we're going to do is just cross out the q's, and you have left 10q. So the answer equals to 10q, like that. The other one, you can do the other ones by yourself. Alright, so that's that one. Now, next page. Question 6 says simplify. Again, I'm just going to do the last column there. It's going to do these questions here. Alright, so now we're dealing with negative numbers now. Okay, so you have a negative divided by a negative. That'll be a positive. So we can just cancel that out like this. Alright, you have n and an n that can cancel out too. So you have, the answer is 28. Here you have a negative divided by negative will be a positive, so that can cancel out. We know it's going to be a positive number. Okay, just like this top one here. It's a positive 28. I don't write the positive because we know it's the same thing. We can just write the number. Alright, so this will be a positive number. Now the a's cancel out. Whoops. 44 divided by 11. Okay, so that's equal to 4. Alright, question L. I can now, negative divided by positive will be, the answer is going to be a negative. Now p will cancel out, r will cancel out, and you have a q, so that'll be negative q. Question P. A negative divided by negative will be a positive. It'll be a positive number there. Let me see, 132 and 12. So we can cross this out. This will be a 1. Divide top and bottom by 12. This will be 11, I believe. And e squared, I can cross out 1e and 1e from the top. So the answer will be positive 11e. Now, if you don't understand this, I can break it out even further for you and show you. This will be negative 132 times e, and the bottom number will be negative 12 times e. And you can think of this as crossing out 1e from the top and bottom, and you can divide this by 12, you get 1. You can divide this by 12, you get 11. And you can cross out the minus and minus. So that becomes 11 and e. 11 times e, which is 11e, and it's a positive number. So there you go, same thing. Okay. Alright, next one, question 7. Find the missing term in each of these. So, this one you have 27 divided by something is equal to 9a. So let me just rewrite this into a fraction. 27a divided by something equals to 9a. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so the a is still there. The a hasn't disappeared. So that means that the bottom number doesn't have an a. Because if the bottom number has an a, it would have cancelled out, and this won't have an a as an answer. So the bottom number shouldn't have an a. There's no letters there. Now, 27 divided by what number will give me a 9? Okay, so we know that 27 divided by 3. Whoops. So 27 divided by 3 will give you a 9. So that means the answer has to be a 3 in this box. There's no letters, just a number there. That'll give you 9a. Question F. Now another way you can think about it is this. I can think of, okay, what number, we have to work backwards. What number times by 9a will give me 27a? And you can say, okay, well that's 3. 3 times 9 is 27a. You can work backwards. I'll use the backwards strategy for question F. So we can say, what number, so this is something divided by m is equal to 8. So we say if we multiply m with 8, so m times 8 will give me this solution back. Okay, so m times 8 is just 8m. So the box here will have to be equal to 8m. And you can check it. You can say, okay, well 8m divided by m, does that give me 8? And it sure does, because this will cancel out. Actually, I'll leave it there. Next question. N squared divided by something is equal to n. Okay, so let's see. N squared. So n squared divided by something is equal to n. Well, let me rewrite this one here. N squared is just n times n divided by something, and that just leaves it with one n. So I think most of us will know that this will be n, because if you put an n there, this will cancel out and just give you an n there. So that means the value inside the box must be n. Okay, so that the answer is n. I'll circle the answers here. Alright, question 8. Simplify. Now, I'll just do question C and F. Alright, question C I'll put down here. Now, x squared y z. When we divide it like this, it's best to put it into a fraction. And you can see what we can simplify. Now we can put x, y, and z squared. So, how do we simplify this? Well, one way you can do it is you can each term just expand it and see what it looks like. So for example, the top term, you got x squared y z. X squared can be written as x times x, and then y will be to times it by y and times it by z, and the bottom number would be x times y times z times z, because z squared. Okay, now let's simplify. What can we cross out? Well, we can divide the top and bottom by x, so that becomes 1. We can divide the top and bottom by y, that becomes a 1. We can divide the top and bottom by z, and that becomes a 1. So what we get is just the top one is all the 1s multiplied just gives you 1, and times it by x you get x. The bottom is just multiply, you get z. Everything else is being cancelled out. There's your answer. Alright, last one, question F. This will be 96, so let's put this into a fraction. 96 e f squared g. We'll put that into a fraction. We're going to get over 8 e f g squared. So let me just move this. I don't think I have enough room. Okay, so if I expand this, I'm going to get 96 times e times f times F times G. And divide this by 8 times E times F times G times G. And now I can simplify. I can look at the top and bottom and say I can divide top and bottom. Let's look at the numbers first. I can divide this by 8 and I'll get 1. I can divide this by 8 and I get 12. I can divide top and bottom by E. I can divide top and bottom by F. And I can divide the top and bottom by G. So what do we have left? We have 12 times F. And the bottom one is, let me see, just G. All of the ones I've crossed out just becomes a 1, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so then this becomes 12F over G. Whoops. And there's your answer there. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If you expand it, you might be able to see what's happening and what's being cancelled out and what's being divided or whatever. Okay, so I hope that helps.